Okay, so I'll call the Town of Groton Planning and Zoning Commission meeting to order. First item of business is roll call. Kevin Fitfall.
Here.
Sue Sutherland. Here. Steve Hudacek.
Here.
And Lauren Goff.
Here.
And I'll appoint Kevin and Lauren to sit for our missing people. And do you want to do a secretary? So
Oh, gee.
can you handle the pressure?
I've never been a secretary.
Hmm?
I'll
I'll
try.
appoint Sue as acting secretary for
Sure, I'll
this
try.
meeting. Okay, first order of business is approval of minutes of our previous meetings. We have the meeting minutes for September 24th. I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Does anyone have any corrections? None? Pretty good. So, and we'll vote on approval of the minutes as written. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion is carried unanimously. We have no public hearings. Let's see. Next, we have public communications. Does anyone on the commission have any thing they received? Does staff have any?
No.
Does anyone in the public have anything? Anybody in the list of remote attendees?
Nope, they appear to be associated with one of the applications.
Okay.
Do we want to mention the kickoff of the P O C D? Is that?
Well, that should be under reports. This is just there if you received any communications that might affect the meeting tonight. They're good to address or to be identified. And moving down, the next item, we have the site plans. We have SIT 240011, the car wash center, which is a continuation from our last meeting. And I assume these are some of the people that
Exactly. I'm just promoting them to panelists so they can share their screen and speak to you. Let me just. Yes.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Excellent. All right, let me share my screen. Hey, Scott.
Hey, good evening.
Okay, let me share my screen. That's bigger. Where's Frank? Okay.
when you speak, would you identify yourself?
All right, I am sharing the screen. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, excellent. Okay, for the record, my name is Megan Hope. I'm an attorney with Alter and Pearson and Glastonbury. Also with me here tonight is Scott Nolan, professional engineer with SLR, and also Frank Carpino. He's the applicant and owner for the site plan application that we filed for the car wash center Groton. It's located at 771 Long Hill Road. That site is located in the MTC zoning district. As the chairman mentioned, this is a continuation from your September 24th meeting where we were in person and did our full presentation. What we are going to do tonight is
Before you get started, just one
Sure.
thing. Does this recording show the
Yes,
speakers?
absolutely.
So Shannon can see this?
Yes.
So if,
Yes.
okay, thanks. I just want to make sure we didn't have any unusual requirements here.
yeah, no problem.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So in advance of this meeting, we did submit a response to comments that mainly consisted of comments that we had received at our last meeting with the commission. We also had some comments from Greg Hanover in Public Works, the fire marshal, and we had our comments from Connecticut DOT, which we had shared at the last meeting with the commission. So we did prepare a response to comments that was submitted. We also updated the site plan to incorporate those comments. And I think one of the main items we had, a request from the commission last time was to provide some additional information on the lighting. So we've done all those items in hope that we can advance this application tonight. Just to reorient everybody, this is our previous rendered site plan. We obviously have Long Hill Road located to the right side of your screen. As we had gone over extensively at the last meeting, we are proposing a new island completely on our property so that we can stay out of that easement area that we share with the property owner to the north, 757 Long Hill Road. Our traffic is going to enter the site in this location, go to the pay stations, then sort of circumvent the site through the single tunnel car wash before exiting the car wash and then entering the vacuum area, or also exiting the site once that's completed. Just advancing to the next slide. This is our revised rendered site plan. It is very similar to what we showed you at the last meeting, but we really got one sort of overarching comment from the Connecticut DOT and also from Greg Hanover with your Public Works Department, which was a concern basically of crossover traffic. You know, cars coming into this existing curb cut with the mattress firm and trying to cut into the queue or cut around the pay stations and trying to hop into the line. So we did look at potentially extending this island, but what we thought would be more meaningful would be to add these pylons, which our clients have used at their other location. But what we're going to do on this 8-inch wide white painted line is to put these pylons, and I don't know if you can see them, these little dots here, those are all pylons. So this will create a physical barrier, a physical cue to drivers that they're not supposed to be crossing traffic in this location. The only way to enter the car wash is essentially through this location. It is a device that our clients use at other locations, specifically at their Newington property. They've been very pleased with it. If somebody is in the queue, doesn't have their credit card or something like that, needs to get out, an employee can go and just pop those pylons out, have the car leave, and then put the pylon back in. They're durable, but they really do what they're intended to do, which is to keep people driving in the locations that we want. So we felt like that was the best option for creating that physical barrier, that queue, so that there's no crossover traffic between the abutting property, 757 onto our property as well. And I did have a picture here, which is also included in our site plan details of what those pylons look like. But they would start at the end of the island here and go all the way around to this location here. So they'd be on this entire stretch of a white painted line. Okay. We had a lighting plan in the site plan set before, but we have updated with additional details. We also put all those spec sheets into the site plans, and I uploaded all those spec sheets to the portal as well. We have all the light poles highlighted in the red circles. Those have a 14-foot mounting height. The vacuums are located here. They do have lights on the underneath side of them. So that's what you're seeing here with those yellow lines. And we also have some wall units as well. Those are at a 7-foot mounting height. We do have lights located inside the building, which we had talked about at the last meeting. We have confirmed that all those lights are mounted obviously inside the building, but they're located between 4 and 6 feet above the top of the window. So we're not getting any light spillage upwards out the windows. Everything is coming down because they're affixed higher than the top of that glazing, and any light spillage doesn't go up into the sky. It's casting down outside the building as well. So we did confirm that. Deb did share with us the draft motion, which we reviewed and don't have an issue with. We did submit our revised site plan back to DOT. We've been poking them to try and get a response. Mainly, we wanted to confirm that the pylon option that we're proposing works for them. They had asked us to come up with a solution to sort of prevent cross traffic. So we feel like this is the perfect option. We haven't heard back from them. We did try multiple times to get in touch with them over phone and email, but we just haven't received a response. But Deb has obviously included this first note, which I think is pretty standard for your applications. If there is something else that comes up with DOT, that changes what we're showing you now. We would have to come back to staff or the commission, depending on whatever those changes are. For item number 3, we obviously will raise any of the technical items that haven't been addressed yet, although I think we've pretty much addressed all the comments that we've received up to this point. And there is an additional comment about potential future development on the abutting sites, which we don't have an issue with as well. So I'm happy to answer any questions. We have the team on the line here. So yeah, just let us know if you have any additional questions about our revised materials.
All right. Deb, do you have anything to add?
I'll just add a few things just to bring everybody up to speed and remind you what all we talked about at the last meeting. So as noted, this project is in the MTC, the Mixed Use Town Center. And car washes are allowed here with conditions. So the project plan does comply with the design requirements of the MTC with regards to parking, building design, frontage, sidewalk. It also complies with the car wash conditions concerning lot size, access to the tunnel, stacking, wash water recycling, and vacuum locations. As you may recall, the stormwater actually splits the site up. The portion in the front goes to Route 1. Portion in the back goes to the wetlands that are between this site and the railroad tracks. Currently, there's no, excuse me, there's no water quality treatment at all. Water quality treatment will be added as part of this plan. A number of details, lighting details were added at your request from the last meeting. And the fire marshal's concerns were basically just allowing access for his equipment around the site, and they've addressed that as well. The access to the site is a new driveway, certainly not ideal under most circumstances. However, this applicant was unable to convince the mattress firm owner to allow them to modify the existing one that they both share. So as noted in the draft motion that I sent to you all, if there are site plan applications for either site that abut this property, we will look at limiting the access between the properties. Right now, it's completely wide open. It is just paved all the way through. So we will formalize a connection between the properties to make them safe. And so we'll review that if we ever get an application for either of those sites. Thank you.
Open it up to the commission for any comments they have. Let's start with you, Kevin.
Sure. Could we go back to the revised plan? So if someone comes in, and we understand where the new pylons are, but they have the ability to go around those pylons where the picture is. I didn't know, because the picture kind of intercepted my thoughts here. And go all the way to where the vacuums are, correct?
No, with the pylons. So you're saying if somebody comes in at this location here and doesn't want to get their car washed, but just wants to get a vacuum?
Correct.
Yeah, Frank, how would your employees address that? I know that you have employees standing at the kiosks, at the pay stations.
Correct. My name is Frank Carpino. I'm one of the owners, for the record. So Meg is right. Our pay stations where the 3 lanes are, those are manned by employees at all times while we're open. So if somebody just wanted to use the vacuums, or they needed to escape because a window wouldn't go up on their car, or they didn't have payment, the employees just pick up those pylons and let the car go around.
Okay. But if someone were to even come in outside those pylons in that road right there where the pointer is right now, you could come all the way around, correct?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Yeah, okay, that's fine, thank you. So my only other thing, Mr. Chair, is I just want to thank them because I thought they did a very good job giving us the lighting requirements that we asked. So thank you for that. That was one of our big requests, so that was great. Thank you.
I don't have any questions.
Steve?
I just had a question. I forgot how this ended with when are the lights on, when are they off?
So the lights are on, all the site lights are on 24/7 for security purposes. The building lights are dimmed down at night after hours.
But the parking, and are the vacuums open at night?
They're not, they don't work. All the hoses and stuff and the vacuum turbine gets shut down automatically. So people could pull in there, but nothing would work and they'd have to, end up leaving.
Okay.
In some, and I'm not sure about this site, but sometimes we cone off the entrance and exits. If we find people loitering on the sites.
Okay.
And we also encourage the police department to use our sites to sit and do paperwork and stuff like that.
All right. That's all.
Lauren,
Nothing else.
yeah, we just had a couple of questions. Will people use this just to use the vacuums?
Some people will,
Well,
but we really encourage.
Could you explain how the access to just the vacuums is provided?
So they would come in on the north right of way.
Right,
If they were just trying to use the vacuums, they would either come in through the pay station and ask to use them, or they would drive around, and come all the way around into the vacuum area.
right. Oh, all right, I guess it's, something is overlaid there that
That picture.
it's a picture.
Um,
That has nothing to do with that.
Correct. That road
That's
continues
what-
by the dumpster.
I thought that was.
Oh,
something-
sorry, this
Yeah.
part here, I see, yes.
I think your
Yeah,
next
okay.
slide, Meg.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah,
That's.
There it
fine.
is.
there it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I understand. And at our last meeting, there was a comment made to the windows in the building that weren't congruent with the rest of the windows at the ends where they went
Yeah,
instead of up, or they just weren't parallel with the other sightings on the other.
yeah, I can bring that up. I have all the
And-
slides for
And
glass.
even though we can't say anything, it would really look a lot nicer if they were
These
made
ones,
similar to either your vertical or horizontal lines that you already established in the towers or in the main part of the building.
I will admit, it probably doesn't look as good on the drawing that it does in person. It kind of, and I don't know what the right terminology is because I'm not an architect. It kind of gives a flow through the site, so it doesn't look like a giant monotone looking building. It kind of accentuates the entrance cars coming in and then that exit area. And if I had a really good drawing that showed what's behind the windows, the entrance part on the left there shows the cars loading. And then at the exit end, it shows the cars like in the dryer area of the
Well-
car wash.
Well, I guess it looks all right. But your building, I mean, there's a lot of features that are there just really because of looks or. And we're trying to build up this downtown area with getting away from strip malls. I just like to see things that look like they are better than what we have had. But you think they'll work out all right once they're actually installed?
I do. I think, and I'm regretting not having an actual photographer, a photo of Newington right now, so you could see that. With the depths of the columns and stuff, it kind of breaks that up. That whole.
No, I can see why they're different sizes, but it's just the fact that they're angled down. Normally you'd see them angled up rather than down. So they would match, be a continuous line. But that's how your other building already looks,
Yes.
and you think it's fine, okay. I thought these were unique to this particular application. So does anyone have any other? I have one question on this item 2 of the proposed motion. I don't understand what it says.
Okay. So the goal, well, as I noted, the parking lots are contiguous, right? It's just pavement going between.
Yeah, but you've got
So
barriers. there.
you do now, but that is only in place because they couldn't work with the adjacent
No,
property
I
owner.
understand.
So I want you all to have the opportunity to, if those folks come in, the mattress firm come in, that you have the opportunity to rework the access and narrow down the connection between the two parcels to a standard 24 feet as opposed to it being wide open.
Yeah, but that's not what this says. It's because if you read it, it says, if in the future it's determined by the Planning and Zoning Commission to be necessary. What is necessary?
Well, I'll tell you,
Is
that is
it-
the standard language when you guys require connections. It's prefaced with that.
No, but it's because you changed something. You really, it's determined by the Planning Commission, something has changed. If you want to just say, if you want to do it only if the driveway connection is changed, right? Because you won't be able to access lots looking at the picture to the left side. It would only be to the mattress place.
So for example, if the mattress firm folks come in with a total redevelopment plan, right?
Mhm.
I want you all to have the ability to not just look at that property, but also look at this one and make sure that the interconnection between the two is safe.
Right, that's what I,
Right.
but that's not what I read this. Why?
It's a reopener.
No, I know what.
Just, yeah,
it's
right,
intended.
okay, so, all right, so what would make it make more sense to you?
Well, we want to say that if the connection between or adjacent the connection to the adjacent property, whatever number it is changed. If there's a change by the other's
Mhm.
property, we want to have the right,
Mhm,
that's all, right?
okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But it's, you know,
So it just be moving that last sentence up further in the paragraph.
So for instance, the last sentence, if it moved to the very front, then we could, seems like that would, to me, make more sense.
yeah, but it's not the parking lot. You want to do the whole. You just want to leave it general, right?
No, I mean, I think I was just leaving it at the parking area to be re-reviewed, not anything else on their site plan.
Yeah, but it's not the parking area. It's actually the
So, all
drive-in
right,
access that would be
right, okay.
impacted, right?
So the parking lot as well as,
Entry,
right.
Entry and exit, yeah.
Yep.
we call that ingress and egress. Or-
Mhm.
Yeah, right.
Or traffic circulation on the site.
You have some words or you want to?
Nope.
All right. So what's changed, I guess, is we want to say is the connection between. I don't know, can you specify how you specify that property by number or street number or?
757 Long Hill Road
Is
is
the
the mattress
term
firm
and-
property.
Or just say adjacent property.
Well, yeah, but it's only on that one side.
I mean that it's the same situation
On the other side? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
okay.
it is.
It's determined
Adjacent property.
that so it's that
In the future, it is
in the future is determined that
when a site plan
That-
application is submitted by either adjacent property. owner.
For traffic
That
circulation,
affects-
Traffic circulation.
that affects
Traffic circulation.
access. to
Yeah.
this-
Ingress, egress, and
Access to ingress, well, it doesn't, or affects.
I think
access
just
or-
traffic circulation.
Or traffic
Yeah,
circulation.
on the site.
Which would include ingress and egress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's determined that
In the future, should an adjacent property owner submit a site plan which concerns traffic circulation, the planning and zoning commission shall have the ability to blah, blah, blah.
No, I mean, the adjacent property, if they submit a site plan, it's not just going to be for traffic circulation.
it says
So I wouldn't couch it in those terms. I would just say,
adjacent,
if there's a site plan application, right?
Any site plan,
Right,
that
exactly.
adjacent property.
then why do we need to mention traffic circulation at all? If it's
Because
on
that's
site
the
plan?
only thing we're going to relook at on this site.
Right.
Right.
but-
Generic term, covers a lot of things.
So if a site plan application is submitted for either property that's adjacent to here, it will give you the opportunity to relook at traffic circulation on this site on 771.
Jeff is just working on the verbiage.
No, I just want to write it down because we don't have
Please
Shannon.
do.
to-
Yep, please
We
do.
used to use her to
Yep,
No, it's right.
record it.
yep.
I'm just.
If
telling
she
you.
can do that, I don't know. No, we can read it
It's
off.
safer just to go ahead and write it down so you have it the way you want
Yeah.
it.
Because it's part of the draft motion. so-
Exactly.
No, that's why I'm
Yeah.
concerned. Are we doing adjacent, it's really the site plan that we want to say, or just adjacent, it affects the adjacent traffic?
I mean, that's what's going to trigger this as a site plan application on either of the adjacent properties.
Okay, so we could say in the future, an adjacent property site plan. Application affects. Traffic, well, you affects traffic circle. You say of this property or traffic circulation?
I wouldn't even put that in there because then you're
Affects.
sort of limiting it. You know, I think if there's any
Affects-
application on either of those properties, we should have
affects,
the ability to relook at it.
You know. It affects boundaries, or just say affects this plant, could affect this site. It could, right?
Sure, sure. I mean, I'm comfortable with just saying if they submit a site plan application, you get to look at the connection.
That's easy.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to affect traffic.
Not
We
at all.
want to,
Affects-
be able
Exactly.
to tweak it.
Yep.
So it affects it really affects the connection
Between the two properties.
between.
Sure.
You want to say they may review it or they just, what's their real right? They revise, I guess.
Well, that you have the right to review.
Review.
What did I have here? I mean, what I've gotten here.
It's
is that
really
parking
to
lot
revise.
modifications shall be required if that's what you determine, if you determine that that needs to happen.
You mean a review?
No,
Oh,
I want you guys to have the ability to require changes on.
oh,
this
may
property.
require, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, just think of it in terms of how you
So-
require driveway connectors. you know,
Traffic.
require it.
You want to say, traffic circulation and parking or?
Sure.
Let's see if these words make sense. In the future, an adjacent property site plan application affecting the connection between the two application affecting the connection between the two properties, the planning commission may require changes to traffic circulation and or parking of this site. Does that make sense?
I think you just have to put is submitted at some point, right? In that first part.
I don't,
And then you have to show it's either side.
Well-
Right? It's really three properties.
You
And
want to say?
did we want to caveat it with when an application is submitted affecting traffic? You just said
No, just any, keep
Any.
it general.
Submitted by.
Period.
Is,
period.
Planning commission
Yeah.
may require a review or modification to this site's parking or traffic circulation plan. So
Like she said.
You have that written down, Laura. Just go through yours again, right?
what?
Before Lauren has to write hers.
No, say that's what okay, in the future, an adjacent property site plan application affecting the connection between the two properties the planning commission may require changes to the traffic circulation and or parking of this site.
Well, it still doesn't deal with the potential for changes on both sides of your lot.
Hmm?
Because you said both
No,
properties.
because you have to have two site plans.
I think Lauren had it.
What?
I'm writing it right now.
Yeah,
What's this?
Right.
Yep.
We're gonna go to Plan C here, I think.
Flooding them could come in with site plans that should be able to.
This is what I have written. Should an adjacent property owner submit a site plan application, the Planning and Zoning Commission may require modification of parking or traffic circulation at this site.
Yep, that.
That would do it.
It's written. So moved.
Second.
Well, wait.
Well,
No,
we have
no,
we also
no,
have to
no,
ask.
we haven't made the motion.
I rescind.
Okay.
You want to make the whole motion?
I will make the whole motion.
Thank you.
Hold up, it's on my phone. Motion to approve site plan application SIT 24 TAC 0011, the Car Wash Center, 771 Long Hill Road, with the following modifications. 1, a note shall be placed on the plan that states, quote, "Any modification to this plan imposed by another federal, state, or local agency shall require additional review by town staff or the commission, whichever is appropriate." 2, should an adjacent property owner submit a site plan application, the Planning and Zoning Commission may require modification of parking or traffic circulation at this site. 3, technical items as raised by staff shall be addressed.
Is there a second?
Second.
Hmm.
Second.
Do we need to ask the applicant whether they agree with that?
Yes, but we also need a in parentheses in the first one, number 1.
Hmm.
Too, that's a minor thing.
What?
Oh, and sure. End quote on the first one.
End quote, yeah.
Yes, because we modified the second condition substantially, should we get an opinion from the applicant?
You can, you don't have to,
You
but you
don't
can.
have to.
Chair's discretion.
Usually do, but it's up to you.
It's up to you, Jeff.
Well, all we're
Would you like
saying
our
is we
opinion?
may.
Megan, do you guys have any issues
have
with
a
this?
check problem with it.
Yeah, and I think if maybe I can just, I think when we first came in, Deb, to talk with you many moons ago, you had talked about the commission's desire in this area to sort of interconnect properties.
Right.
That's always something we were open to. We couldn't get an agreement from 757. I know when Frank was even talking with that property owner, when we were trying to close up the shared access, that point that we had, we even said, hey, we'll give you an easement to let you guys come out through our property. He didn't want that. So I think would we be open to talk to somebody in redevelopment about like changing, especially I think it's that part of like the easement, our half of it, which I think is really what's kind of messing everything up here. I think the answer is like, yes, we would need to look at it, obviously. I think what we've done with our plan now is like, we really do have a plan that works kind of absent use of that easement area. I think the only thing to remember with that property to the bottom of the screen is that it is raised up quite a bit in elevation. So
Yeah.
I think there would need to be some like excavation, I think, to even get it down to some level where you would have a connection with that. So that seems maybe less feasible, but until somebody comes with a site plan application, I don't know how, I think would really be dependent on like what the plan was.
Right, exactly. And that's how we have handled things in the past when we require connections between sites. The commission doesn't just impose something on it, both parties are involved and we make sure that the grading works and the stormwater works
Right.
and all of that.
But
Yes,
this,
we're practical.
Right,
but this adjacent property on the plan to the downside, that would require a site plan change to this to allow that connection.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
that would be.
That's right, that's right.
So that would require the applicant to reach an agreement.
Right.
And nothing would be forced on.
Right, exactly. Again, you
Hmm.
guys don't impose it without, full consideration of grading, stormwater, impact on both propies. That's right,
Right, so it would, both properties would have to agree.
right, that's right.
So I think,
Yep.
yeah, I think we understand that. And I think we're open to that, as long as we were still able to do what we're doing, the car washing and the vacuums and whatever, and it worked, I think we'd be open to it. I don't think we'd
Yeah.
be
Well,
stonewalling quite like.
they would have to agree to that.
Right.
Yeah,
Right, again,
nothing
It would
would be
get worked out,
forced.
that's
on
right.
them.
that's right.
I would think you'd have trouble doing anything that would be unrealistic too,
Mhm.
on this, just saying.
We'd all have to agree though, right?
Right.
Right,
That's right,
including the owners.
exactly.
Right,
Sounds good to me.
any other comments? So vote on the motion for
Do you have a
the
second?
car wash, hit
Yes,
second.
I second.
That's right.
So I'll vote on the car wash amendment. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion is carried unanimously.
Thank you.
Good luck with your car wash.
Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you very much.
Thank you for your investment in Groton. We appreciate it.
Thank you for that.
Actually, it's gonna look a lot nicer than
Yeah.
than what's there. Hmm?
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Uh,
All right.
Okay, moving along. Next one is site plan 240006 fuel dispensing station and convenience store. 388 Long Hill Road.
Actually, Peter, if you could set it on the table, I can turn on the camera and that way we get it recorded.
Yeah.
Just have it face the commission. And you just shift it, you can see, just shift it a little so we can get it all on there.
You may have to zoom out a little bit.
There we go.
You want me to?
Sure, that'd be great.
I'm gonna sit down.
Why is this a long presentation?
No,
Tiring.
shouldn't be long, but might be traumatic, but. Peter J. Springsteel Architect LLC, 105 Star Street, Mystic, Connecticut. I'm here tonight representing the owner who's on the line. And this is a previously approved application for a convenience store gas dispensing station. And we're here tonight only to modify the building. All the elements of the site plan have not changed. The landscaping, the stormwater, the lighting, parking has not changed at all. After we received approval, the owner has been thinking about the style of the building. And what he would like to do is distinguish his property from many of the other convenience store gas dispensing stations that we have in Groton and all in the region. So this was the site plan that we had. This is Long Hill Road here, Culver Avenue right here. This is a more residential neighborhood in the back. We have quite a bit of an elevation change in the back here as well that we landscape per your recommendations to screen off the building from the residential neighborhood. We have our fuel dispensing area right here. We have a building right here. The change that we're making does not involve a change in the footprint of the building. Footprint is the same. The first floor layout of the building is the same. The big change is in the exterior facade of the building. This rendering is a 3D of the site with the building that was approved previously. So it's a more New England style structure. And it looks similar to lots of the other ones that we see in the region. And these are the color renderings of that particular building. Do everything in reverse. This is the floor plan of the building. Has not changed at all. We basically have a retail area in the center, walk-in cooler in the rear, utilities in the rear. There is a small tenant area. We don't know who that tenant is at this point. There's no drive-up window. This is all internalized to the building. We have our checkout area that has a view of the pumping area. We have a back office area and storage. We have a stairway that goes up to a mezzanine or a second floor area. In the previous rendition, we had a long dry storage area in the essentially the attic area of the building and access to the mechanical equipment. In this rendition, we're just going to leave that open up to the roof line or to the ceiling line of the second floor with a small storage mechanical area on the second floor. And that you can see right here. Here's the stairway coming up. This is floor area here. There's a door to an exterior mechanical area. which is something we had in the previous application. And we've screened that mechanical area off here from the neighborhood that lies in this direction. Actually, this floor area on the second floor has been reduced from what we originally had. You can see this cross section of the building where we have this very tall ceiling area. This is where we have the storage corridor right here. So the exterior of the building is modeled after sort of a Western European model of what you would see in Europe today. It's a little bit more sort of modern than we're used to seeing in maybe Groton. But I will say on Long Hill Road, there's kind of an eclectic mix of different kinds of buildings. This has a much more striking modern appeal to it. These are sort of a window curtain wall here. These are stucco sections of the building. And then there's a focal point piece in the center. The building height has not changed. We're essentially the same height as the previous one. I think I have a dimension on one of these sheets. So there's a 3D view of the building, and the building kind of ties into the pumping station flat roof that goes on there. So flat roof kind of a thing, tie in some of the colors and materials. And these are the other elevations. This is the north elevation. There is a window here in that tenant area. It's not a pass-through drive-up window kind of a thing, but it's just to let some light in and create some architectural interest on that side of the building. This is the side of the building you see when you come up Culver Avenue. This is the south side of the building. It's the utility sort of entrance side of the building. So there's a bunch of doors over on that side. And then this is the rear of the building where we show the screening for the mechanical equipment. That screening will be as tall as the mechanical equipment so that you don't see that equipment at all. And I do have the building height here noted as 24'6" to the roof line, parapet line, and then the front entrance element goes up another 3'9". So that's a total of 28'3" to the highest point of the building. And I can't remember what the regulation is, but it's probably, no, 30.
35.
Okay, so we're under that height restriction. The materials in this building, these are essentially a clapboard material here that you see where the horizontal lines. The gray flat areas are essentially a stucco or a metal panel, actually, is what they are. And same thing on the front of the building. The highlighted red area is a metal, insulated metal panel system. And the building has a flat roof. So essentially that's what we're proposing here tonight to amend the previously approved application. Happy to take your questions.
Staff.
Just a couple of comments. So there is a note on the plan, as there are with all site plans, that say that the elevations are an important part of the site plan application. And if there is any significant change in the elevations, that you all need to review them. You're not an architectural review board, so you don't approve the architectural style of the building. But you are supposed to review it if there's a significant change. As Peter noted, there's no change in the footprint of the building. There's no change in the parking calculations based on what's going on inside. Everything else essentially meets the requirements of the site plan that was approved last July. So this is just a review and an acknowledgement that the design of the building has changed.
Does this require a site plan change?
No, it does not. It does not. There's nothing associated with the site plan that is being modified. Again, the doors are in the same location. Parking is the same. All of that footprint is the same. So it's just an acknowledgement that this this new architectural style is consistent with your approval.
And are these plans and are these new descriptions go into the recorded plan?
No, we don't record elevations or floor plans
Oh, we
along.
don't.
We don't. They are just additional information for you to look at as you review the site plan.
So it's only actually the
That's all it is. Yep,
footprint.
exactly.
Okay. We'll open up to commission for any comments. We'll start with you, Kevin.
Sure. First of all, it looks like a French auto route gas station, right? The only thing that they do, because they want to brand it differently, is they put in playgrounds. But there's nothing like, they do, but there's nothing like that either inside or outside. It's just a different branding approach. No questions.
And they're not in liters. They're in
What?
gallons.
No,
They're in
thank God,
gallons
right.
too. You have to
Okay,
change
that
the
price
liters.
over there, right?
So,
Yeah, I just want to understand one thing about the elevation. The red part with the name of the business on it. That elevation, is that the same as the highest peaked roof before?
So let's
Or is
see.
the other one the lower same of neither?
I don't know if I have that information with me, but I'll check. I don't think I have that elevation with me, but I don't know if there's a maximum height noted on those drawings. So
we don't exceed.
you don't exceed the 35. You're at, I think I said 28'3" is the height of that element that you're talking about.
Right, but I was just curious what was before.
Yeah,
Because I guess my concern is the neighbors will be looking perhaps at this building and yet we're not having a public hearing type thing. for them
Sure.
to say, hey, right, there, all we go.
This is the plan that was.
so when we measured the roof height before, when you have a gable roof, you measure to the midpoint of the eave and the ridge. That height was 21'10", but then the highest ridge was another almost 9 feet above that. So it was 30 foot, almost 31 feet to that ridge.
And that's the highest point on the building.
Of the one that was approved previously was 31. We're below that. This, yeah, couple of feet. And that red facade faces Long Hill Road, doesn't face the
No, I
neighborhood.
understand.
Okay.
Still, I don't know what they're gonna be able to see from there.
Right.
Popeyes will see it, right?
Yeah. So, okay, that's all I had.
Good point.
Why? I like the old.
Well, I have to do it.
You said it yourself,
Yeah.
New England style, we're in New England, it fit in nicely.
We can't opine on it.
You can't.
Given my own devices, that's where I would naturally be, but I have to defer to my owner.
Design guidelines.
This is not in that zone. Sorry.
Perhaps the commission should change the zoning so that you do have design review. I mean,
But it,
in the future. Yeah, understood. Vive la France.
Take your picture.
from, just one comment though.
Sure.
With that massive, that's all glass. And from what I've seen at other convenience stores is that they cover it with posters. And I don't think that's gonna be a good one.
Well, there's a
Really,
percent.
enforcement official.
That's right. I mean, there is
It's
a
in a-
requirement for the percentage that can be covered, but you're right. It is a matter of enforcement.
No, I mean, I think it looks nice. It looks more like a bank. That's good. Something different.
Fresh.
The owner wants it.
Well, I got
It's New England, New England. Lauren, do you have any?
Sure. So I do have a question, prefaced by, I do appreciate the increased glazing. I think that will look very nice on that corridor and look a lot. I like the new building, so I like this design. Not that that's relevant. Well, that's for building and ordinance. But anyways, with the additional glazing is, what are we doing about lighting? Is that going to be 24 hours lights beaming out of all of those windows?
I don't know the answer to that.
24-hour convenience store? No.
David Brecka is here. He can answer that maybe.
Okay, so at some point the lights will go off or go down?
So, good afternoon, David Preka, the builder, 61 West Main Street in Mystic. The building is going to operate same hours that was stated before, so it's not going to be lighted up inside, so it's going to be dimmed after they close the building.
Okay, well, that being said, yes, I very much like the increase, and if we could extend the design standards by choice up the hill, I think that would look nice, within this, I think the design is nice, but adding some more of those wood features maybe would make it more cohesive to what's going down a little bit more southern on that corridor, but not that that's of our purview. Thank you for showing us your changes though. No comments.
Does anyone have any other comments? We do have a proposed motion to indicate that there are no significant changes to the building. So I'll make a motion for 388 Long Hill Road. Fuel dispensing station, site plan 240006. The commission finds that the revised building elevations are consistent with the July 9th, 2024 site plan approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Any discussion? So I'll vote on the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
One opposed. Any abstentions? Motion is carried, 4 in favor, 1 opposed.
Thank you.
Since you can't refuse to vote for meeting minutes approval, you gotta do this one. Huh?
Get me on that every bit.
So you can't just copy the voting list. Okay. Next item is new business. First one is draft of the meeting schedule. Does anyone have any comments?
I do.
I'll see how many people are there,
Yeah, I have a comment.
being that we have a naval base here. Hmm? You mean the holiday?
No, I have another comment
You didn't?
on the schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think every time it comes up, we ask if we can't have it at a different time than the town council meetings.
Mm.
Because sometimes I like to go to meetings, and not every time, but. And it's unfortunate. I know sometimes the committee of the whole or whatever, but still,
Yeah, it's, the
is it
council meets,
possible to put on a different? I don't
it's
know.
up to you guys. If you want to do
It's
that,
diff-
I need to check rooms
It's
to see whether or
difficult,
not there's
yeah.
room
I mean,
availability.
I'll take,
And its
I'll go with the
members.
flow.
And
okay?
its members
I mean,
too.
the
It's only
council
one
meetings,
vote,
yeah,
but-
the council meetings are not on one of your meeting nights, but you're right, the committee of the whole
Yeah,
meetings are.
right.
Yep.
Well,
And
you
it's
can
true,
always-
if you wanna
Always step
speak,
out.
You're okay, but
Hmm. Any other ones? How about
Yes.
November 11th.
I was gonna say, is Veterans Day going to be a problem
Can't
for
do
staff
that.
attendance?
It's a.
That's November
on
11th.
that.
Gosh, yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's a holiday period.
Yep.
Yep.
So we have to
Typically
pick
do. Hold
another
on.
date.
I
I don't know.
So
You want to go to the 18th
It's
or
usually the,
Yeah, we could,
or the earlier? I don't.
so it would have to be either the
Makes sense.
18th,
18th, because if you went earlier, you'd only be a few days.
and
right,
there's,
yep, yep,
there's only
behind
one
there.
meeting in November
Yeah,
anyways.
that's correct.
So
you're close.
either the 18th.
Yep.
or no meeting at all.
18th is good.
Okay.
Hmm.
Mm,
So I don't know if you wanna,
Yep, if you can go ahead and
Postpone.
modify it. Yeah, if you want to approve it with that modification.
oh no, we can approve it.
So I
That's-
move to approve this calendar with the modification of November 11th, 2025 being changed to November 18th, 2025.
Moved in second, any discussion on the motion?
Thanks, I tried, but that's all right.
Okay, so a vote on the motion to approve the 2025 meeting schedule. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion is carried unanimously.
Okay, so now that you've adopted it, now that I'm thinking about that, we may have to change the November 18. First and third Tuesdays are Historic District Commission, which are in here, but
Oh,
if it's a different room, if there's
We
another
can
room
do it
available,
different.
it will work. So we're just gonna leave it as it is and we will figure it out in November,
Yeah.
next November.
well, we'll
We
leave
got a
it.
year to figure
Yeah,
it
The
out.
we-
schedule
We're all
will
good.
stay the same.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
The location may have to,
As long as that room is
Change.
available, that's right.
you could go
Well-
to the senior center or the library.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, do we, so
Room 3 is, unless there's very little businesses. to
the
s-
draft schedule specifies community room 2 at the town hall annex. So do we need to modify
No, we'll deal with it
No.
in November, and if,
motion? Okay,
yeah, the FOI says if you change rooms, but it's still the same time, the same date, you just need to post it on the door coming
Okay.
in, that it's a change room,
No,
so we're good.
No,
Legal
because,
ad rule.
no, because this is required to be posted.
Yep.
Right,
At the beginning
exactly.
of the year.
Sure.
That's why you need it.
right, and my point being just it specifies the room,
And then it becomes year special, has special meetings.
but Deb's on top of it, so
Right.
I'm not worried.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep.
Big deal. Okay,
An application.
next, we have our business, we have referrals, new applications.
Right, as you can see, there is one new application for a special permit for a short-term rental, in the MDD.
Mm,
Oh.
that will be a first.
Mhm.
And no other referrals,
No, the other,
except for the ones
the ones that are on the
listed
agenda,
here,
right?
for applications. Okay, the next referral is a TVCCA lease CGS 824 referral. I don't know if staff has.
I mean,
anything
you
Other
can see
than
from the
what's-
memo that was included in your packet from John Burt.
Right.
This is, could be up to a 60-year lease for the TVCCA childcare and preschool on Central Avenue. As you know, last year, you approved a special permit as well as a site plan for the facility. Section 824 of the Connecticut General Statutes require planning commissions to review leases, sales of property, and that's why this has been referred to.
Does anyone in the commission have any concerns with the proposed motion?
Mm,
Since we've already approved the use, but we never approved the lease, which is state statute.
I'm fine with it.
I have none.
So, yeah. So I'll make a motion then for lease, for the CGS 824 referral for lease of town property for TVCCA plan facility. I'll move that the Planning and Zoning Commission finds that the lease of town property at 36 to 40 40 to the Thames Valley Council for Community Action, parent TVCCA, and the parents for the use as a daycare facility is consistent with the 2016 Plan of Conservation and Development, in that it will address the community's need for daycare.
Seconds?
It's moved to second. Any discussion on the motion? So I'll vote on the motion for the TVCCA lease. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion is carried unanimously. Next item is we have Noack Fire District zoning text amendment. It sounded like this is just for information or
Well, it's an adjacent
do we want to
municipality.
do any, is it
Will
a
this-
formal,
Will this impact the town of
is
Groton?
is
Right.
that the formal, it is the formal.
It is, it is.
Formal application that they're
It is.
required to do. I don't know if anybody has any concerns with what Noack is doing for short-term rentals. Does
No.
anyone?
No,
I thought the wording could have been a little
yeah,
redone, but.
yeah, it seemed like if we're all for
They
an
live in a different
observation,
world.
is that it didn't seem as precise as I would have put it.
But it doesn't
And-
affect us.
It doesn't affect us, right?
No.
And
It's really-
have they also come to, this is a question for staff, have they come to the Groton Town Legal and asked the same thing?
No, they have their own council.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
their own counsel.
Yeah.
We only do their planning.
Right, I understand. I didn't know whether they had their own counsel
They
as
do.
well.
Yeah.
Okay,
And so I guess the bottom line is you can rent for 31 days. That's great.
Yeah, just like we can.
So it's the
They
actual,
use the
They don't
same,
say that. but
they
maybe
basically use the same definition.
that's-
what's our
and they-
action?
Do you have any comment on it? Will this impact the town, this change in their zoning regulation?
No, because that's what they're doing right now. Right?
Yeah.
Impossible. It's.
I agree. I feel like the wording is going to leave a lot more questions than
Yeah, but
answers.
it doesn't,
but
it has to affect us.
Insofar that it is a part of the town of Groton.
No.
But no,
no.
I know it does not affect the P and
No,
Z
they have the right.
directly.
Nope,
Yes,
there's
of
a
course.
right.
Yeah.
So it's only- So all it would be, no, part of the town zones. So I guess we have no
No comment?
No
comment.
comment.
No comment.
Commission reports. We don't have anything really for the agenda. Though, one thing that of interest maybe is that I went on this walking tour for artists living in Mystic back in the early part of the 20th century. And it was interesting to see that a lot of the artists would rent places in boarding houses, probably for longer than 30 days. But that was like short-term rentals is to us.
Hmm.
But there were a lot of boarding houses in Mystic then.
Hmm.
But I thought that was sort of interesting to see that. But when they were renting, they probably rented for the season. Or for a long, they wouldn't come up for a weekend. I think in those days, they would come up
Yeah.
to paint.
right.
And eventually they formed that association that actually built the art association.
Mm.
But that was in the
I
third,
thought
early
that came up
thirties.
and didn't that come up for a similar type thing, why Mystic had more boarding houses at one point?
Well, I don't know. I don't
I
know.
thought I remember something along. those
I
lines.
wondered if they were there because they were all seemed to be run by women, where they were maybe widows or their husband left. And they didn't want to move and they needed an income.
Yeah.
Mhm. So that was quite surprised, and to see the amount of these artists that were getting national recognition. They weren't just amateurs.
Yeah.
They were all professionals. And a lot of them were trained in Europe too.
Huh.
Yeah.
Were they New York City residents? Did they get down to that level?
Some were, but some weren't.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They came from all over. I think the original person that sort of started it up was not that
Huh.
but that's nothing for the record.
Oh.
I just thought it was interesting to see that. Does
Okay.
anyone on the commission have anything to report?
No.
Does staff have anything to report?
Just want to note October 17th, the next community conversation over at Thrive 55. Defining affordability and housing for Groton. So it'll be very Groton specific with regards to housing.
And is that our consulting outfit that's doing that?
Nope. No, this
We're
is sort of
doing
an OPDS initiative.
Okay,
So actually Bryce, who you've seen here, as well as Lela, forgot what his last name is, sorry, he's our community, our neighborhood and community planner. He deals with the community development block grants. And so he has his hand in affordable housing as it really impacts Groton.
Well, a lot of that is the funding part too.
Right,
Yeah.
on his part, yeah, yeah.
And that's
So-
why I was surprised that housing forum that we attended was basically hitting on that
Mhm.
area is the funding too. So you would have allowed them housing.
Yep.
But it didn't get down below that level, which also has to be addressed.
So it's at 5:45 over at Thrive on the
Mhm.
17th. And there will be food.
That pizza was good.
It was,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
was great.
it's a spot.
yeah, it was.
I like rolling.
It was amazing they could do that, make out of a truck.
Yeah,
Hmm?
yeah,
It was as good as you get in a restaurant.
they did a good job.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Rolling tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
So does anyone have anything else?
I just wanted to commend the staff on the P O C D kickoff. That was a really nice location and you guys did a really great event. I hope
Good.
you got some new feedback and some
We
good,
did.
good conversation going. I appreciated the youth outdoor bill of rights. I thought that was such a neat
Mhm.
concept.
Mhm.
So very, my son, I brought my 5-year-old with me and, it was neat kind of talking to him about what the town's doing and how we're planning for the future. So kudos to you guys. I'm excited to see what comes next.
Good. So that is part of the Go Groton outdoor
Mhm.
program. They're going to be having a meeting later on this week. I mean, later on this month, excuse me, a big kickoff. So you'll get notice of that as well.
Good. Thank you.
Great. Here, here. Yeah, it was a nice event.
Hmm.
For sure.
Yeah, it was a good location.
Yeah.
Good turnout.
You kind of tied the elements well together. So tying the food in, we've talked about it. It just is, but if you go to a corporate event, tying food in is an essential for people to show up. So why shouldn't it
You're
be
right.
for a municipality of some sort, right?
Well, you're
A
gonna.
common theme here.
Twice now since I've
Oh, good.
my kids
Oh, that's good.
instead of the
Oh.
start living there.
That's how you get to see the
Yeah.
various places in the town. Okay. Well, make a motion for adjournment,
So moved.
moved and seconded. Vote on that, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So it's unanimous.